Back in the day, my business partner and I were considered to be the top promoters in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. Given as that took in King's Cross, Darlinghurst, Paddington, we were considered to be the top promoters really in Sydney. The reason for that was because of the crowd that used to come to our events, which was the top of the fashion industry, music industry, film industry, that sort of thing. And case in point here is this photo that was taken of us after one of our last nights that we put on, where we had as guest DJs Nick Littlemore from Panau and Empire of the Sun, who later Elton John would use to remix his songs into electronic dance music. And he also brought with him a woman called Pip, who later came out as the artist Lady Hawk. So they came along and played at mates' rates, and they didn't do their own material, they just DJ'd. So when you're busy and you're not really worried about people showing up, you start to think about other things to do with hospitality. And for me, I used to feel responsible in a way for people coming to support our nights, and you could see them definitely you would definitely know by the next day they were regretting, possibly drinking too much, that sort of thing. So I used to wonder, is it possible to interact with people earlier than that to help them not reach that, but without affecting negatively the take for the bar and without annoying them? And I couldn't see how to do that. RSA is okay for extreme cases, but for the most part, when people go out and have a big night out, most people are waking up the next day with hangovers, possibly regretting drinking too much, doing something that they did that they regret, all that kind of thing. Even in that photo of me, the thing that I remember most about that day is I'd been out the night before and was a little bit hungover in that photo. So I know from experience what that's like, as I'm sure all of us do. As fate would have it, in December 2009, I was brought in to eventually spearhead what was an experiment at the Coogee Bay Hotel to see whether or not reducing their ask to leaves for intoxication increased their revenue. We eventually did achieve that. We did reduce ask to leaves and increase revenue, but other things happened as well. So people were coming back to me with feedback the next time they saw me, saying things like, "Thanks so much for the water the other night. It really made me feel good. I woke up feeling fresh the next day." And I was getting feedback like that. Also, other things started happening. So the Coogee Bay was one of the most violent venues in the state. The violence just started to go away. Staff were getting along better with patrons. So the way that we did that was to basically keep people hydrated as they go. And you can really see that in this clip where Russell Crowe talks about his experience drinking with Ed Sheeran. And in one instance, they stay hydrated, they drink a bottle of tequila between them, but they stay hydrated as they go. Ed Sheeran wakes up the next day feeling fresh and hangover free, and asking Russell, "What's the secret?" And Russell's like, "It's the water, that's the secret." And later Ed Sheeran tries it again but forgets the water, and all hell breaks loose. He wakes up the next day hungover, having had a 3-hour blackout, walking around a venue with his shoes off, licking a woman's face, all this kind of thing. So you can really see the difference there of what happens when we keep people hydrated as they go. So it's an increased hospitality experience for patrons to be offered that. Sometimes you do have to intercept them if you don't want them reaching intox. But otherwise, it's something that people appreciate. It increases the hospitality people experience. They wake up the next day feeling fresh. That's just the way that it is. And so venues who want to experience that, experience reduced ATLs, ask to leaves, who want to experience increased revenue, then get in touch and let's chat.